Hey, Dave.
I know it's a public company.
What's up?
Can you hear us? I don't think he hears us yet.
I don't think he has his earbuds in yet.
Dave, you got your ears on? It's this old CB talk.
There
we go. There we go. Now you can hear us.
Hey, Dave.
The man.
I thought I had
the
them
legend.
unplugged.
Oh, okay. Hey, Dave, we're live right now. The show hadn't started yet. We're going to do the countdown. We started doing this, so
Okay.
this is the pre-show show.
How you guys doing?
Good.
Real good. David, congratulations, buddy.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
In the words of Tony, it's Super Dave. Yeah.
Or in the words of Jordan the Lion, it's Earl Hebner. I'm going to show that video.
Oh, goodness.
Dave, what I'm going to do when we start the show, I'm going to talk about our sponsors first, and then I'm going to show two videos. One is that, it's one quick little interview. Or a quick little clip. It's kind of comical. You'll get it when you see it. And then I'm going to have you backstage during this whole time. And then I'm going to show the video of that news story. And then I'll bring you on.
Awesome.
So, and I'm approaching this from the viewpoint of a mark. Because I marked out when I saw you on that show.
Yeah, we all marked out.
We all did.
We all did.
I didn't know you were there, and I saw you come out for that Von Erich match.
Oh, really?
Wow. Yeah.
I just watched the Flair match, to be honest with you. I didn't get a chance to watch the whole event.
I didn't see all of it, but I saw the Von Erich match and a couple of other matches.
When I seen Dave running down, I was like...
Well, after the match, after Tony interviewed Flair, we were walking back up the ramp, and Tony goes, "Wait till you hear the audio." I went, "It's Super Dave."
Yeah,
and
he did.
Yeah.
And
That's
when
on
I heard,
the
I still wasn't just getting the full Sting treatment from Tony Schiavone. Because I mean, they didn't have to say my name, but he talked about me quite a bit during the Briscoe match.
Yeah, he did.
Briscoe Von Erich match.
Yep, he did. That's awesome.
But
we're going to talk about the whole event, not just that match. We're going to talk about the whole event because I want to get your take on the whole thing.
Let's go.
The whole weekend, everything like that. Oh, we'll start the countdown timer. We can still talk though. I keep
exciting.
I got another copyright hit on this countdown timer today.
You get one weekly, don't you?
Yeah, I think they're hitting every single one I've ever aired.
It's ridiculous.
But they release their claim on every one of them.
Yeah.
Well, they got nothing better to do.
They come after you, and then they let it go.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
where'd you get it?
YouTube.
Okay.
It should have been a free one. I don't know why they keep attaching because they release it.
I actually had paid for years ago when I was learning how to wrestle. I got my own theme song. I mean, I had my own licensed music.
Oh wow!
Public domain. I paid the license for it.
Yeah,
and I started getting copyright hits on it.
Oh wow!
But I mean, after so many years, I couldn't have told you where my license was anymore. I never used it.
It's on the back of the car. No.
Yeah.
In my wallet somewhere.
Yeah. The dog ate it.
But they didn't take it down. They just
They just
flagged it. It was flagged though.
Andy, was it you that posted that thing about StreamYard claims ownership of all these things?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
It's just a pain in the butt is all it is.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people don't have anything to do is what's going on.
Yeah.
I had promos flagged from years ago.
Until you pay me, I'm going to keep reporting your videos.
Okay. Well, we're getting no revenue from this show, so we're just going to have to battle it out. 20 seconds, guys.
This is all in fun.
Going to be a good show. So, Dave, we'll leave you backstage until I do those quick little videos, and then we'll bring you on. We'll start up.
All right.
Under 10 seconds. I feel like I'm counting down to a launch.
When you bring him on, you should play that. Here comes Super Dave.
Yep. All right. Spanning the Globe starts now. And good evening, everybody. It is Thursday night, and it is time to span the globe. We have a special show lined up for you tonight, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. But first of all, I want to remind everybody this show is sponsored by Mark Leather Championship Belt Releathering and by Unique Spirit Championship Belts. Be sure to check that out. I'm going to bring on my co-host tonight. We're going to start out with Mr. Andy B.,
Hey, everybody. How's it going?
the Gym of Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm.
Toast of the East Coast, from the Sunshine State of Florida, Mr. Richard Ward, a.k.a. the Warden. And we don't have Lane on tonight, but we have our other admin from the group on, Mr. Kevin.
Oh, hey, how's it going, guys? What's up? What's up, guys? What's going on?
I just realized you're in a car.
What's up, Dave?
Just eating out.
Kevin,
Yeah.
Apparently Kevin's hungry.
Yeah.
Oh, how'd you know?
Yeah. Glad to have you all tonight.
Yeah, buddy.
It's a rare treat for us.
Yeah,
We have a special guest tonight. Unless you've been under a rock the last couple of weeks, there was a big event in Nashville a couple of weeks ago, Ric Flair's last match. So I would like to proudly proclaim,
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
and this news story aired just this week on this gentleman, and I'm going to show this off, and then we'll bring him on.
I can't wait for you to hear the audio when you came out.
It's Super Dave!
It's Super Dave!
Dave Miller is a wrestling fanatic. He's also an independent ref in the wrestling world. But on July 31st in Nashville, Tennessee, he got a big-time assignment.
1, 2, 3!
Minor leaguer, I got called up to the big leagues. I batted 118, but I hit a home run.
Dave got to do the final 3 count for Ric Flair's final match, a victory for his childhood idol. Flair, nicknamed the Nature Boy, is one of the legends of the sport.
It's top 5. I mean, you get knock out the wife, the kids, and the grandkids, and then it's pretty high up there.
What's crazy about this whole event is Dave didn't know it was coming. The original ref getting hurt in action. Dave on standby. Getting the call, just a little nervous.
I was overwhelmed at first, and then all I could think of is don't fall down. Don't fall down. Just running down the ramp. Don't fall down.
He didn't. A perfect send-off for Flair, a final victory. Everyone with their eyes on the Nature Boy, but ringside, Dave's wife had her eyes on him.
It was like everybody in the arena was there cheering for Ric Flair, but in my heart, I knew what it meant to him.
A moment in the sun.
If I didn't love it, I wouldn't do it. I mean, I've always wanted to be a part of it.
Being a part of it, I would say he is now. Years of reffing, years of watching wrestling on TV, now in the history books. You can't tell the story of wrestling without Ric Flair's final match. And right there is Dave Miller.
And here's the man of the hour. Welcome to the show, Mr. Dave Miller. How you doing?
Pretty good. How y'all?
Doing
Great. Glad to have you back.
Glad to be back.
Something's happened since last time you were on the show. A little event they had going on.
Yeah, just a little bit.
And we're going to dive into all of that. We'll get to the Flair match later, but I want to start off with this. First of all, we knew when you were on the show before you were a part-time referee.
Right.
How did you get attached to this big event?
Conrad Thompson.
I kind of figured that. Yeah.
I mean, Starcast was a. Thank you, Ben. Starcast was a brainchild of our group chat. I mean, our group chat was originally formed about 8 years ago. We were all coordinating, meeting up at the NWA Fan Fest in Charlotte, or Legends Fan Fest that they did every year. At the and so that's what our group chat started, just so we could keep up, and it kind of grew into more than that. We all came together for a love of belts because we're all belt friends. We get in the lobby, we bring our belts, and then it kind of grew where Conrad told us one day, "Hey, I'm going to go sit in on Ric Flair's podcast at CBS," and then, "Hey, I think I'm going to do a podcast with Bruce." And then, I mean, it just we come up with some names, and that's just it kept on and kept on with our group chat, and then we came up with the idea of Starcast. Our friend Mark Nilsson, who passed away a few months ago, came up with the name Starcast. I mean, everybody in that group chat's contributed to something that goes with the ad-free shows, Conrad Thompson podcasts.
Right.
I actually named Grillin' JR, but it's just because we were all pitching names and one of them stuck. So I already had my end there. And this is the first one that we've done that was going to have wrestling. And I just kind of popped off and said, well, I know a referee. He said, oh, you're refereeing. And he called me. He called me about 3 weeks before, and he said, hey, I'm finalizing the card. Got a quick question for you. Do you want to referee the Von Erichs and Briscoes, or do you want the Rock and Roll versus the Horsemen? And I said, well, there's a Sophie's choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I said, let me have the Briscoes Von Erichs. That's the one I want to go with. And then it got real to me that this is going to be pretty neat. And then we found out that the venue wasn't going to be big enough because the fairgrounds were going to hold 3,500 seats. Then they moved to the municipal auditorium, which holds 9,000, a little over 9. Then I'm thinking, oh my God, on the Indies, if we get 1,000, we're doing that's a good night.
Yeah.
So, that the enormity of the event was starting to hit me. And then I found out I'd be one of the referees for the Bunkhouse Battle Royal, which they did the boot. I don't know if y'all remember, they did a boot and a belt buckle for the winner.
Yeah.
But one side of it said Bunkhouse. I mean, it said Bunkhouse on it, where on the straps for the boot. On the other side, there was the initials MN for our friend Mark, and it was that was dedicated to him. So
nice.
Now I'm doing the Briscoes Von Erichs, and I'm going to get to present the boot to the winner. And so that meant awesome. A lot to me.
Sure. That's great.
Then the day of, Conrad sits me down. I mean, like had a meeting right before the part of Starcast started. And as everybody cleared, he said, hey, Dave, sit down. We'll talk to you. He said, been waiting till today to tell you because I didn't want you to get in your head. But tonight, we're going to have some stuff go down with Kyoto, and you're going to run in. You're going to run in and make the count. And I'm like, I'm floored. I'm just floored, absolutely floored at this point. And I thank him, and I gave him a hug and thanked him. And, it's just kind of hitting me. And I walk over, and my wife could see it all over me. And that there's times in your life that if you say just one word, you're going to start crying.
Yeah.
And she goes, what is it? I was like, I'm just shaking my head now. And she goes, what is it? And she's getting concerned. And I could tell she's getting concerned. I said, it's not bad. So I excused myself to the restroom and had a meltdown.
let me interrupt you for a second, because I invited Dave to be on the show last week. And he said he was too emotional to talk about it. So we would have had him on last week, except he was still excited from that. So please continue. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah. I mean, that was the truth. I was so overwhelmed by it. And it wasn't so much running in, and I mean, it's cool that I got to count Rick's last pinfall, but it was just that much confidence and that much kindness shown to me by my friend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, because he didn't just walk in and say, hey, we're going to bring this indie referee in to do it. I mean, I'm sure there was a battle fought for it.
Yeah.
I mean, that was probably a tough sell, because I mean, you had Jay Lethal, you had
Kyoto.
Andrade. Kyoto's great. I love. I mean,
was he okay? Was he okay with the decision to bring you in?
Oh yeah. He kind of poked fun at me a little bit on his podcast this week.
Oh, okay.
Because they said something about his super kick. He said, "Yep." Then that other guy just ran in, stole the glory.
You made quite an entrance too, by the way.
Yeah,
I could hear the Superman theme song in the background while you were running.
Titus O'Neil would have been proud of that jump into the ring.
Yeah, you're laughing.
Oh, I got to give you props. That slide in the ring.
Yeah.
Well, I've done that a few times before. sometimes on shows that I'll be following, trying to get guys back in the ring, or I'm with somebody and then something happens in the ring and I can run and slide in. I love doing that. I worry more about hanging my head on the bottom rope, sliding through than I do falling. But on this particular occasion, I'm just like, be Charles Robinson, not Titus. Be Charles Robinson, not Titus. Be Charles Robinson, not Titus.
It was an awesome move. That was probably the move of the match right there.
I loved it. And I mean, getting to do it. Tony Schiavone put the cherry on top of the sundae, though.
Oh, yeah.
Because Tony Schiavone and David Crockett are my all-time favorite announce team.
Me too.
All time.
They're classic.
Now, I'm a big Gordon Soley fan too. Gordon with David Crockett was pretty good too.
I'm a Gordon Soley, Mark Lawrence fan.
Not Gordon. I mean, I'm sorry, guys. I'm tired. I worked a very busy day. My brain's not working. Excuse me.
When you talk about a team, I agree on those two guys. But if you talk about individual guys, Gordon Soley and Mark Lawrence are my favorites.
I meant Bob Caudle.
I love Bob Caudle.
I've had a very long, busy day, and I meant Bob Caudle. I apologize. Bob Caudle and David Crockett were good too.
Oh yeah, but it was just that I bought my first VCR to tape the TBS show so I could get Ric Flair promos, Dusty promos, and I fell in love with the way David Crockett and Tony Schiavone worked together. Because David Crockett was a fan; he's cheerleading. Mm-hmm. He's getting in their face. He's antagonizing. I loved it.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
And you said that Mark Lawrence was really good, but I mean, you go back and watch World Class now, and God bless Bill Mercer, but he don't stack up compared to. But at the time, you didn't know any better. Then you got cable, and then you're like, oh, there's better.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
So to have Tony Schiavone say that, and I've been friends with Tony for about 5 years now. So, but for him to go out of his way, and Tony didn't know I was going to do it. It was a complete surprise to Tony when I ran out.
That's why he was so excited.
Yeah, I think you can hear it in his voice. It's just super Dave.
But I got the Sting treatment.
I would be selling T-shirts with him saying that in a quote. It's Super Dave.
Didn't they refer to you earlier in the show as Pondwater Dave, your other nickname? I think I heard them mention Pondwater Dave.
Yeah, I believe they did say Pondwater.
They may have.
Yeah, I heard it too.
I think during the Von Erich match.
He might have. I know he talked about he told the goose story. We all got terrorized by geese.
Yeah.
And I did, and Conrad did, coincidentally, in 1 week. So that all became a thing.
Oh man. Let's back up to that Von Erich match.
Okay.
You told us on the show before that you had actually seen the Von Erichs wrestle in Dallas.
Many times.
What did it feel like to you to officiate one of their kids' matches?
It's pretty cool. I'm gonna tell you the moment that was the coolest out of the whole thing. And I came out there. They had a vignette going on, and I came out to the ring while they were showing I think it was the segment with Lawler, the interview with Lawler and Jarrett in the dressing room, cutting a promo on Rick. And so I had 45 seconds to a minute while that was going. And I'm just kind of standing there in the ring, looking around, taking it all in, the enormity of the Coliseum and all these people there. And the music hit for the Von Erichs, and it's kind of that guitar lick was kind of like Stranglehold, kind of that same feel. And at that point, I could just see his dad coming out of the tunnel. Their dad coming out of the tunnel, slapping that light that was hanging there when he'd come to the ring. And like a light, he'd always slap that light, and send it swinging. And that was really cool. The boys were late getting there. They had a terrible time traveling.
I heard about that. They almost didn't make it. It
was 48 hours. They spent Saturday night in the airport because at one point they were going to get picked up at 3:00 in the afternoon. Then they were going to get picked up around 8:30. Then it was going to be like 3:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
And then they came. I mean, the show started, and they come walking in at 6:00.
Man.
I mean, we were supposed to go on 3rd, and it got bumped back to 7th.
Right.
So, I mean, Ross was jet lagged, Marshall had food poisoning.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they weren't 100%, and
Wow.
they powered through, and the Briscoes. What can you say about the Briscoes? Those men are stars.
I like them guys.
They are.
Man.
Was
Oh.
it bittersweet counting the pinfall against the Von Erichs? 'Cause they lost that match.
Yeah, I mean, It didn't phase me. I mean,
okay. I wondered about that.
I thought the quality match was pretty good. It was. I was wondering how they were going to match up against the Briscoes. It was
a good match. It was a good match.
I mean, I was thrilled to be in there with all four of them, but the Briscoes are next level. I mean, those guys are top 5 in the world right now, and I hope that with Ring of Honor they get more exposure.
Yeah,
me
than
too.
they've been getting.
Me too, definitely.
And working with them, I mean, just watching them put it all together, watching them in the ring, getting to interact with them. I mean, before we came out, the Von Erichs wanted to do a prayer, and the Briscoes got right in there with them, and it sounded like country church with the Briscoes. Yes, Lord. I mean, they were
a little bit of revival.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I mean, I thought, you don't see that very often in the locker room, and I thought it was just pretty darn cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
That's great.
I know they weren't feeling their best, but did you get an opportunity to talk with the Von Erichs after the show?
I visited with I got to visit with Marshall a little bit.
Did you get time?
No, actually, I talked to both of them. Oh, I told him that I told him it was good working with them, and I told him that I'm from Dallas and I was there for everything in the '80s, and he thought it was pretty cool. I got to see all that stuff.
Yeah,
but they were ready to go get. I mean, because they felt terrible.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, they probably weren't up to talking, but it was nice. They were gracious enough to talk to you.
No, they were, and I'm gonna say, I guess there's been a lot discussed about what went on backstage. When we were getting ready to go into the gorilla position, Arn Anderson made it a point to come in. He'd never met them, and he wanted to come in, and he told them he liked what they were doing. He just wanted to take a minute, shake their hand, and say hi to them. And he asked about their dad and told them, keep doing what you're doing, and hopefully we'll see you down the road. And I thought that was pretty neat that Arn made it a point to come see him.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That is.
That's pretty fascinating, actually.
Yeah.
Then we get to the Bunkhouse was before that, wasn't it?
Bunkhouse was on pre-show.
Okay, pre-show. That's right. That's when I started watching, and I kind of came in and out because I was watching on the free stream, and it kept going out on me, so I missed some of the action. But I did catch the very end of that, and it was you. Was it Kyoto was in that match?
Mm-mm.
Who else
Kyoto
was
only
there?
came out for the main.
Okay.
There was 4 of us. There was 4 of us out there.
Okay. It's the very last part of it.
And I mean, we just all took one corner, and it didn't go like it was supposed to at the end. I mean, as far as the GCW invasion, Mance didn't wait in the ring to get the boot and the buckle. I had to chase him up the ramp to give it to him.
Well, that wasn't the only thing you had trouble with somebody trying to accept it when you were trying to give Ric Flair his belt.
Yeah, the Crumb Ride, yeah.
Rick.
That was crazy.
Yeah, I couldn't. Rick was. I mean, I'd ask him questions, he wouldn't answer me.
Yeah.
I mean, he was severely he was dehydrated.
Yeah, I really want to get into that when we get to the match, because I know that had to be on your mind when you slide into that ring, or even afterwards. He just didn't appear Ric Flair at all. He was just,
Well, when we get to that match, I'll pull the curtain back on that, because it's already been pulled back, and I know how far because y'all have got Kayfabe and Dave if y'all have had me last week, but a lot has been pulled back, so I know how much I can talk about now. And I'm excited.
I'll touch on that. But I want to back up to the events prior to the actual show. Like, they had a Ric Flair roast. I think it was the night before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Friday night was the roast. Friday night was the roast.
Friday night, that's right. And
yeah,
were you there for that?
I was. I refereed Black Label Pro.
Okay.
Then I went to the roast, and then I left the roast when Eric Bischoff was talking. I couldn't stay all the way to the end because I had to go get ready for GCW, and I refereed.
I only saw bits and pieces of the roast, and it's actually on the Days of Jordan the Lion YouTube channel. That's how I got to see some of the other events. But somebody had mentioned that during the roast, and I think it was that comedian, I can't remember what his name is, he started going after the women in Flair's family, and Flair did not appear to appreciate that. Do you have any insight to that?
Flair thought every bit of it was funny. He kind of felt sorry. Everybody felt sorry for the women, but the women, I spent Saturday with Tori Wilson.
Oh,
I did.
Wow.
You lucky dog.
Yeah.
I'm probably not going to hear anything else the rest of the show, but
no,
going.
Tori said they didn't go too far. She was cool with everything. Vicky didn't care. I thought they got a little stiff with Vicky when that they dropped that line that they named off everything Vicky done in wrestling and said that the wrong one died.
Oh, I didn't catch that.
Oh, that was pretty stiff.
Yeah.
I know, right? But
roasts are supposed to be pretty brutal, but that's
they were. I felt so bad
on the
for
line
Brad
right there.
I felt so bad for Brad Nessler. And Tori told me that's the only jokes that bothered her the whole night is the way that they were going after Brad Nessler.
Oh yeah,
because his name rhymed with molester.
Oh,
oh no!
Oh God, it was brutal. But they're gonna edit it down and put a version out because that's how roasts are. Normally, Comedy Central roasts go 5 hours, then they cut it down to the best hour or two. And
put it down to PG as much as they can.
Yeah. Now Bully Ray went and he went in business for himself and refused to roast.
Yeah, he was totally nice.
He tore the notes up and
saw that.
And Tori asked him about it. He came by her table and she goes, "Oh, so you tore the notes up?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "You remembered it, didn't you?" And then he goes, "Would you like me to tell you all the horrible things they wanted me to say about you? Would you like me to tell you all the horrible?" He said, "I just didn't feel like it because, Eric Bischoff said that Bully felt the crowd was getting tired. So he pivoted and did something else that he read the crowd."
It was pretty classy what he did.
Yeah.
It's a roast.
Yeah.
It's a roast. So, you knew what you volunteered for.
Yeah.
So, but it wasn't. He kind of right at that point. It was getting. I loved it. And there was some jokes that went too far. There was some jokes that, David Manning was getting whooped on pretty good too.
Yeah, he was. I thought David Manning did a pretty good job.
Yeah, David Manning just started getting up there telling stories. That man has stories.
Yeah, he does. I didn't realize him and Flair hung around so much back then.
He used to drive him.
Yeah, I know. But, Flair was only in town every few months. It's just kind of amazing me if they were all over the place together. So.
Oh, he'd fly him everywhere. You ought to have listened to David Manning tell stories about riding with Harley Race because Harley Race didn't let Manning drive. He made him ride.
Yeah. Race liked to drive. He'd like to drive fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I'd love to just sit and listen to David Manning tell stories and just with no cameras around and just hear them all.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Did you get an action figure of yourself made with Flair in that booth?
I did not.
Ah.
I decided I wanted to, and then I got to thinking about it. That's a lot of money.
And, but it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Well, I know, but there was getting my picture taken with all the horsemen on the TBS set.
Well, yeah, there you go.
I decided to go. I decided to go that way with the money.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
That was not a bad decision.
Well, they're little 5-inch figures.
Yeah, I get it.
That was not a bad decision at all.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
And I was
another once in a lifetime opportunity.
I was going to get my picture taken with Tony and David on the TBS set, but the time just got away, and I had to get a refund on that one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. How much was it for the Horseman?
$250.
Oh,
wow, that's not bad.
Wow.
Well, you think about it, you got Flair, Tully, Arn, JJ, Luger, Wyndham, and David Crockett was in it.
I couldn't think of any bigger icons to have photos with. Just about. If you're
if you consider Flair's condition that night, we may not have him around a whole lot longer. He keeps
I saw on all the Horseman pictures. Luger was the only one he wouldn't put up before. Now I know he's got hand problems. I wonder if that's why he wouldn't.
That was why he just couldn't do it.
He had to do autographs with 2 hands.
Yeah,
That-
I felt bad for him. Yeah.
That picture is a picture of my childhood through the 80s. So that's awesome.
I was excited to get that one. And
That's
I
awesome.
took a picture with Tori. I didn't do a lot of photo ops.
I would get one with Tori.
Well, I worked your table, so I did it. And I got a picture with I grabbed a picture with Jay Lethal backstage. But I wouldn't have done that if my wife wouldn't have.
Oh yeah. Jay Lethal's he gets so overlooked all the time. I don't understand that. He's such a talent.
He's incredible.
He is.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna tell you who the MVP of the whole thing was. And that's Jeff Jarrett.
I was gonna say Jeff Jarrett.
And
he did a great job. Great job.
And this isn't hyperbole.
Even though he got screwed, yeah.
He did not get screwed.
we don't know what Kevin's talking about. We'll get to that.
I'll release an official statement on that, Kevin.
I saw that.
But
I thought that would be so. When I was
Jeff Jarrett,
I was like, man, this is so funny to type this up. I was laughing my tail off typing it up.
Oh, there's a YouTube video.
There's so many ways you could web that web.
I'm going to show the YouTube video off here in a minute.
It's a whole conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
There's a guy that did a video.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Calling it a draw and that there's going to be a rematch. No, there's not.
No, I wasn't trying to go that route with it.
No, I mean but I'm saying it's been crazy.
That's extreme. Yeah, that's too.
But
my favorite video is the camera view from the opposite side. It's Earl Hebner.
That's what I'm getting ready to show.
I
haven't seen that one.
Okay, I sent it to you, but I've got a clip from it. But let me before we get to that, are there any other events or matches you'd like to talk about from that card that remember?
I want
get to
to
see
ask
them.
about the kick that Ricky Morton didn't like that he got from Pillman. He addressed it in a group chat that I was in, but he didn't say much about it. He says, "Yeah, I didn't like it, and I wanted to know about it." And I didn't know if anything went on backstage about Ricky confronting him about the kick.
I wasn't privy to it.
Okay.
I wasn't privy to it.
Okay, so that brings us to the final match of Ric Flair, which I hope is a final match. Now, everybody's seen the Super Dave announcement as Dave came running down the aisle, but that's the official television version. This version is from a YouTube video, and I've mentioned this YouTube channel many times. It's Days with Jordan the Lion. If you haven't had a chance to check it out, check it out. He's got videos for the whole weekend. Mm-hmm. And he's a big wrestling fan. He's a big Elvis fan. And he does a lot of videos of famous people's graves. He talks about their careers, their lives, things like that. And I'm going to play this video, and I want you to listen to what he says when Dave comes running down the aisle. It's not Super Dave. Just take a
I got a question for you before you start that.
Okay.
Where are you at on taking pictures of famous people's graves?
Oh, if it's done classy, I have no problem with it. If it's done with class.
The Von Erichs are buried 50 yards from my grandparents.
Oh, wow.
I found it by accident. Because when I go to a graveyard, I like to look at the dates on the stones, on the headstones. I mean, that's because, I'll take my mom, and I can't sit there for 30 minutes. I'm walking around, I'm looking. Anyway, I happened upon them, but what I'm saying is I didn't take a picture of them.
Oh, okay. No, there's several I actually watch. There's Scott on Tape. There's Days of Jordan the Lion. There's a couple others I watch, and they tell stories about these people as they're walking through the cemetery toward the grave. Mm-hmm. And then they show on the video they show the grave, and it's really done pretty classy if they do it right.
There's a neat website.
I don't think there's any wrong getting a picture with somebody's graves, but there's people out there that are taking it to show other people, and then you get a whole vandalism type thing. And I don't think there's nothing wrong with checking it and showing your.
Well, the ones I'm talking about are tribute videos. They're more of tribute videos.
Yeah. There's a neat website too called findagrave.com. Has all the celebrities and respectful too. So.
But I can imagine there's somebody out there every day at the Von Erichs grave.
I mean, I'm kind of uncomfortable with it. That's why I just was wondering if I was the only one.
I got one question for you, Dave.
Or you're sitting on the headstone, or you're standing on the grave, or if you're doing it, that I can understand, but I
Yeah.
think it's okay if you're doing it respectfully, you
Yeah.
know. But I understand what you're saying, of course.
Just don't make a circus out of it.
No.
I mean,
Exactly.
Marilyn
They're
Monroe.
in like his wrestling trunks, or if you were
There's
standing
piss
on it or
marks all
sitting
over
on the stone.
Marilyn Monroe's headstone. So it's
Oh wow.
yeah.
Okay,
Wow.
I'm gonna show this video off now. This is from Days
right.
with Jordan Alliance YouTube page, and then we're gonna be on screen as this plays because I want to kind of talk about this. I gotta give the proper credit here. Look that guy up on YouTube. It's really good channel.
Yeah.
This is from the opposite side from the TV.
And the ref's knocked out, of course.
That's Jordan.
Earl Hebner!
Earl.
Look, now you're looking at the shoulders. Look at that. You're looking at Flair. Look at that confetti.
I hope he saved some of that confetti.
Yeah, my wife has 2 pockets full of it.
I was gonna say that. I hope
And she got it. And
I thought you'd have a garbage bag full there.
she got it out of the ring because
Oh.
she reached into the ring and got it because she was up there helping them get the turnbuckles off.
Yeah, people are selling that on eBay too. Confetti from that.
Probably from
I saw that.
Party
I've got it
Galaxy.
because when I framed the shirt, I'm gonna put some of the confetti in there.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
nice.
idea was if I did a shadow box, we just lined the bottom of the shadow box with confetti, but I'm probably going to frame it like I did the David Von Erich trunks. And
Did Rick sign the referee shirt?
not yet.
Okay.
I didn't see Rick after the match.
Oh.
I was waiting with Conrad and Rick left.
Okay.
He was pretty out of it by then.
Yeah.
He was going to party with Kid Rock, so he was ready to roll.
Yeah.
By the way, I want to go on record as saying you look nothing like Earl Hebner.
No,
And Earl Hebner ain't moved, and he ain't moved that fast since 1973.
No, I just thought that was hilarious when I saw it. I sent you that video because I thought that was hilarious.
I do have one question, Dave.
Johnny, we covered this.
Okay.
After that match, I know you wanted to break down, and I know the excitement was going through you. I mean, how did you really feel at that moment, like right after you went into the back behind the curtain, that you were the man that did the 3 count?
Immediately, I was just I was concerned for Rick.
Yeah.
I was genuinely concerned for Rick. So I probably 10 minutes after the match, it was a circus backstage. And when I finally got just a second, it kind of hit me. And I never really broke down and cried, but I couldn't keep the tears back. I mean, if I'd look at anybody, I mean,
you could have died happy.
I've been I mean, probably for like 4 days after that, I was emotional anytime. I mean, you should have seen me the first time I saw the video. When I saw my good friend Efren sent me the 19-second clip of running in. And when I heard that, I mean, I lost it. It just in a good way. I mean, it's just that I'm so overcome by, I can't believe this happened.
Yeah. It couldn't have happened to a better guy.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I used to go to World Class and I wanted to be David Manning.
Yeah.
And I mean, in my mind, there was scenarios how I was going to catch Ric Flair doing stuff and I wasn't going to disqualify him and let him save the title. I mean, that was Mark Dave. Just in my wildest dreams, would I ever thought that I would become a referee and then get the assignment to count Ric Flair's final 3 count? It's just
before you came out, did you get to see the match, the whole match? Were you watching?
I was watching on the monitor. Okay. I was watching most of it on the monitor.
So you were aware of the condition Flair was degrading down to. I mean, when
guys, I was in the room when the match was laid out.
Yeah.
Flair wanted to look like a 73-year-old man. He was okay. He was okay. That's what he was supposed to be. He wouldn't. Mm-hmm. His whole thing was, guys, I'm not 35 anymore. I'm 73 years old. I mean, there was an argument for him to do a lot more and to go over a lot stronger. But he appreciated what those guys were doing for him. And I mean, he was supposed to. So he wasn't as bad. You'll hear people say Flair was drunk. No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. I was with him.
I didn't think he was anyway. If you listen to his post-match comments, he didn't sound drunk at all.
He was drinking a Diet Pepsi.
Yeah.
And if you'll go to,
it was done with class.
If you'll go to Ric Flair's last match, I don't know if y'all did y'all watch the docuseries leading up to the match? Oh, guys, you got to go to Ric Flair's last match. There's 4 videos. Part 1 was the motivation. Part 2 set the hook with when Jarrett and Lethal beat him up. Part 3 was the contract signing, and it's going to happen. And then part 4 was the epilogue, and the epilogue, I couldn't watch it with dry eye either.
Yeah.
So there wasn't any concern with how he was acting backstage with anybody that you saw?
No, not at all. I mean,
for me, and just my point of view, I just thought he looked a little, and I'm not saying anything, I'm just saying he looked a little, I could tell maybe he was a little tired or dehydrated just because I was thinking, this man's been through so much publicity so far leading up to this match. I was wondering, I was like, did he have enough rest? But it's good to see that you guys were saying that, nobody was concerned for him and it was nothing like that. Cause I'm sick of hearing the things that he was drunk or on drugs. Cause that's just not true.
All I know is
No, he, like I said, that video, if you watch the epilogue, when you watch the epilogue video, and when I tell you guys this 4-part, I mean, the first 3 videos are about 18 minutes each. But you got to go watch them because when you watch this, it's storytelling. It's an incredible, the videography this stands up to anything, any 30 for 30. The quality, this could be taken to a film festival and awarded. I'm not overselling.
Is it on YouTube?
Oh.
No, it's on a website, RicFlairsLastMatch.com. There's 4 videos.
Okay. I was
There's 4 videos stacked.
To me,
start at the bottom and work your way up.
To me, this was about nostalgia.
I'm going to be honest with you. When the match happened and when it was over, I had tears in my eyes. My wife looked over at me and I'm watching it on my phone. And she's like, man, you're really into this. I'm like, babe, this is his last match. This guy has nothing more to prove to me. He is the man. He is the man.
To me, it's a culmination of what he's done for so long. It was to bring back the nostalgia, to give everybody that one last feeling of seeing him and your childhood memories of seeing him in the NWA rings and everywhere where he was at. To say goodbye one final time, to do it going on top, to say thank you to so many people that supported him for so long. That's to me what it was about and what I appreciated. And it makes me just angry. Some of the people, oh, Conrad just wants money or Rick needed money. That's just, it's stupid. If you don't understand it, if you never grew up in the NWA, then you just don't understand what took place is what I say.
The best thing about it is this was all the way Rick wanted it. And it was his show.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
Went exactly the way he wanted it, and that's what we wanted too.
Yeah. I mean, from top to bottom, nobody went to business for themselves. They were all there. They were all there. They were glad to be there. Mm-hmm. Everybody hit their times. Also, I got a crash course in TV wrestling because I'm a live event referee. I don't wear an earpiece. I've worn an earpiece one time. Well, I mean, for one show, I did it a couple times. But I had an earpiece. I had Road Dogg in my ear giving me time cues. I mean, it was... And nobody... Jim, you know that a lot of times matches go long. And you have to cut time later, especially. Uh-huh. Everybody was on time. I mean... Those guys, they came down to the ring after the match because they wanted to. I mean, it was just an incredible atmosphere to be in, celebrating Ric Flair. And I mean, I got emotional when I got to watch it back with that's it. And At the time, I was genuinely concerned for Rick because I went to him, I looked him in his face, and I asked him if he was all right, and he wouldn't answer me. And then Andrade's saying, get him some water, get him some water. And y'all see me jump out of the ring. I go over, Conrad gives me a bottle of water because Conrad had some. I mean, so I didn't have time at that moment. I wasn't all in my feels about it right then because I was so concerned about him. But the part where he was laying on the apron, I wasn't worried about that because I knew what the deal was.
Is that where he's draped over the bottom rope?
Right.
In the corner? Okay.
Now,
I was concerned then.
He said he passed out twice.
Yeah.
Because he didn't properly hydrate.
Yeah.
And you can understand that with what he was doing leading up to it, all the publicity when you're at that age. I mean, that.
Well, he made all the appearances. He stood with each fan in line. I mean, it had to be taxing over time, I'm sure.
Yeah. To answer Gianni's question, they wanted to go 30. 30 was the allotted. Oh, and now it popped up on the screen. Yeah. I saw it in the chat.
I'm trying to be conservative with his comments.
Okay. Well, it was 30 minutes. It was 30, but we had 40. We had about 45 left when we got to the main. So, I mean, that was something.
So what's going through your head when you have the greatest belt ever in the history of wrestling in your hands and you're ready to give it to the man?
Whoa. In your eyes.
Second greatest.
In your eyes.
Second greatest. Okay.
This guy from the Dome Globe guy.
Kevin? Yeah, I'm a Dome Globe guy too. But Kevin, I'm gonna tell you, I was a little aggravated because I couldn't get to him to give it to him, and Kyoto's the one that ended up having to finally give it to him.
What's funny is I'm watching that the whole time, and I'm fixated on you trying to hand him that belt.
Yeah, I was too.
And I can see you're doing it, and I'm sitting there. Rick, take the dang belt.
Yeah, I was like,
damn belt. Rick, take it.
It's like a little kid begging for an autograph, you know.
Dude, I've held that belt so many times now.
But there's a difference between holding it and get your picture taken with it and handing it to a guy.
I live in North
after a match.
And
how heavy is that belt?
Hold it, so I got to get over to an event. Hopefully this time in Greensboro, I'll be able to get over that one and hold it and see it for the first time. Because Jay-Z keeps making fun of me that he keeps holding it. He keeps sending me pictures of it.
Oh,
yeah.
I got a funny story about that belt. We were in Charlotte a few years ago, and we all brought our big golds. We all had big golds, and we had them laying on a table. We were in the cafeteria area, and we have our big golds laying there, and Conrad's got the real one laying there. And Sabu comes walking by, and he looks at the table, and he goes, and he just kind of under his breath goes, "Fake shit." And then we have a guy at our table that knows Sabu, and he went after him, got in his ass for acting that way. But I laughed because it's hidden in plain sight. Yeah. Nobody knew because at the time Conrad still didn't let anybody know that he had it.
Well, the bid at the top should have been the giveaway.
Yeah, but if you got 6 big golds on the table,
that's true. Yeah.
Why would you think it's kind of like the whole thing about Clark Kent wearing glasses as a disguise? The reason it works is because why would Superman have a secret identity?
Right.
Yeah.
So
I was hoping he'd come down and spin in it, but you could see it just wasn't fitting him anymore like it used to.
Yeah.
That was probably still a little heavy.
And
how does it compare in weight?
It's about a 9 pound. It's a 9 pound belt.
So comparison weight to a replica.
No replica weighs 9 pounds. Right?
No,
that 9 pounds is a pretty good weight.
I mean, it's
replicas average about 7 pounds.
I mean, it's a lot. It's heavier than Shop Zone, but
yeah, mine's brass, so it's a little bit heavier.
But I mean, you don't grab it and think, "Oh man, this is." I've got heavier belts.
Yeah,
but like I said, I've been fortunate enough. I've been to the house. I mean, I'll have it over my shoulder. I'll wear it.
Nice.
Childhood memories would be flashing through my head holding that belt.
That's the day that I will acquire.
I was annoyed because one of the bolts is broken on a side plate.
Oh, no. I wish you hadn't told me that. Now I'm going to be up at night thinking about it.
I did notice
JB Weld.
So, I mean, I did notice that, but I love
JB Weld to fix that right up.
The first time I ever held that belt, I forgot to breathe.
Yeah, I mean,
My wife had to tell me. She said, "Breathe," because I'm sitting there, and it's this time of year, so it just showed up on my memories.
Oh,
Wow.
The first time I was holding it. It's the first time I'd ever been starstruck by an inanimate object.
Yeah. It's an iconic belt.
Yeah, I mean, yes, there's maybe more prestige with the NWA, but just growing up, you know, I'm getting into wrestling in 83, 84.
I was just picking on you, man. I was just saying, in your
yeah,
eyes,
no,
in your eyes.
But when you look at the belt in 83 and 84, it's a beat up piece of crap, that NWA.
What's
Yeah.
up, Platinum?
That's
And
probably why
Yeah.
you bring it up to
and
that
I'm
match.
always
It's
like,
still the
man, that
case.
belt's so ugly.
I wish I could have got a picture. I mean, I've got a picture with it, but it's behind glass.
Yeah.
Like I saw it at Access.
In the condition it's in, it's probably better off in the case.
But I would have loved. I'd love to. I just would love to be able to hold that one.
Yeah,
because that's the one I saw change.
Yeah,
I got to hold the current version when Matt Cardona was champ. So then,
oh damn!
I
got
got slapped by Chelsea Green in that match.
Yeah, I like
so.
Aldis's version that was beefed up. Look, to me,
Yeah,
that's the best
that's
it's ever looked.
actually
I don't
what
like the
I
way
have.
it looks now. I mean, I like Aldis's version.
Me too. I like that one.
Yeah, that's the fan do. It actually is a fan do.
No, Aldis was
Aldis was Leather Rebels.
Leather Rebels. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the new one with the United Kingdom plate.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, that was
the new one. I liked Aldis.
Yeah. Aldis had the Leather Rebels version.
Yeah,
and I saw the Leather Rebels version when Jax Dane was champion, but Jax was still using the old one because he didn't like the Leather Rebels version.
I don't either.
What was his reason? Just because it was bigger and beefier, or
who's got the Leather Rebels version now?
I figure Nick does, or
I do too.
Billy Corgan.
Yeah.
Billy,
yeah.
Yeah, they're possessive of their belts. Very possessive. Because I tried to buy that. I reached out when Dave Lagana was still there, and I tried to get the light heavyweight, the junior heavyweight.
Oh,
I really like that junior heavyweight Dome Globe style.
Yeah,
because I got to when Steve Anthony was champion, Barrett Brown was champion. I got to referee some of those title matches, and I really liked that belt. And Lagana gave me this whole line that it's not for sale, and if we sold it, you probably couldn't afford it because it's part of our rich history. And I'm like, yes or no would have worked, you know. Don't give me a douchebag answer.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah.
So, yeah, well,
about the NWA.
I mean, I know how much you paid for that crap, and I know how much I can get another one for. I mean,
right.
I know how much I can get one for.
I don't think that version's been around that long, has it? I mean, I remember the Benny Brown version had the crown for the main plate.
Yeah, that was in the 80s, and then I think after what was it, 90? Late. I want to say
in the 80s when Lasertron came around, they went to that 7-plate version.
Yeah,
that's actually hanging in Nelson Roll's Western store in Charlotte.
Wow.
I stopped by there one time. We were driving, and I saw the sign, and I said, I mean, I went from like the middle lane to the parking lot because we were just, and I went in, and I'm looking all over the store, and I don't want to go. I don't want to be that guy that walks up and says, "Hey, y'all got that wrestling belt in here?" Then I just happened to look, and it was by the front door, hanging on the wall in a box.
Wow.
And so I took a picture of it, and they got a selfie with me. But
so
why did they put 7 plates on a junior heavyweight belt?
Yeah, ridiculous.
So about the junior heavyweight, my question is, what do you think of Kerry Morton? I wanted to ask you, and this is mainly a question that I want to answer. What do you think of him, and were you able to see him live, or did you have to see him backstage while he was wrestling? Because he just seems to have a great charisma, and he's got a lot of moves that his dad has, and he looks like he could really be something in the NWA, and hopefully he becomes the junior NWA Heavyweight Champion soon.
I think he's going to be a star. I think he's got all the tools in the world. I haven't been unimpressed with what little I've seen. Yes,
the way he gets up and he doesn't. I understand why Ricky's always done it kind of the flat, but he does it like Robert Gibson does, he turns sideways and he's up here. His drop kicks are beautiful.
I've worked with Kerry on quite a few occasions, and he's not only is he athletic, he is really, really awesome to be with, to talk to. He's one of the most approachable people That, I mean, legitimately in the business right now, you could just roll up to him and say, "Hey, Kerry, I saw you on NWA Power in this match," and he'll be like, "Oh yeah, what'd you think of this part or this?" And I actually ask you about his match, what you liked about it and stuff. And he's actually very engaging, man. He's really cool.
I loved seeing him and Brock go at it. It was just it was an old school match feel. It was I loved that match, and I like Brock too. I mean, I think he's a talent that is going to be big too. I think.
I do too. I think he's got all the potential in the world.
Yeah, they both.
He looks like his dad. I'll say that.
Yeah, he does.
God, yeah.
And he can talk. He can talk a little bit too, because they used him in those in the docuseries. They had him talking in a little bit in it, and so I think he's gonna, it's just gonna take some time.
Yeah. Before we get too far away from the from that event, I want to show this picture off, and I want to ask a question about this. That is probably the final image from that main event, and I got to say, in your history of being in independence, this has got to be the biggest stage you've ever been on.
In my history of ever doing anything in my life, this is the biggest stage I've ever been on.
Well, the question I want to ask you is, do you think this could open doors for you to get into bigger events?
I'm going to referee the wrestling showcase in Chicago Labor Day weekend.
Oh,
nice.
Awesome.
So it already has.
NWA.
Awesome.
Is that a result of this show?
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah, because Josh Chernoff and his brother are the ones putting the wrestling showcase on. And I met Josh through Conrad, and after he reached out to me and said, "Hey, are you going to be in Chicago?" And when I was able to confirm that I was going to Chicago, he booked me.
Nice.
And I'm excited about it.
That's
awesome.
awesome.
And I looked at that. Now I hate Killer Cross isn't going to be there.
Yeah.
He got signed, but good for him.
Yep.
And let's circle back to the people that were on this show. I mean, if Conrad Thompson don't get votes for being promoter of the year by Meltzer this year, if they don't vote, I mean, how would he not be? This card was every bit as impressive as All In.
I agree.
Because and maybe even more. And maybe even more because we all know Ring of Honor did All In. I mean, Cody and the Bucks sold the tickets.
Yeah.
But this was an independent MLW, AAA, New Japan, AEW, Impact, and WWE was represented there.
Mm-hmm.
If you take Ric Flair's match out of that card, you still got a solid card. I mean,
yeah. And Conrad Matt did the matches. I mean,
Chris Thermo.
Yeah,
you want to know why
the NWA needs to hire Conrad.
Well, it doesn't. They don't have to hire Conrad, but they ought to follow his formula. And it don't matter if you're AEW. Well, AEW is doing it. Tony Khan's a fan, and he's booking his fandom.
Yeah,
I mean, you can see that he's an ECW mark. He loves the hardcore stuff.
Well, yes. Mm-hmm.
I mean, and I'm not criticizing him. I'm just saying you can tell that Tony Khan's a fan because of a lot of the stuff that he books.
Yeah, I don't want to see blood in every match.
But I don't mind blood if it makes sense. I don't want to see something happen that you should have bled and you don't.
Yeah.
Now they do bleed a lot, and I mean, and I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of Moxley and Jericho. I'm just not. I know, but I mean, sometimes. But
I'm right there.
When Jericho ripped that earring, when he ripped his earring out and they showed his ear bleeding, I was impressed. That was a good match last night, and I've kind of changed. Yeah. And I may have changed my position on both men after that match.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that they're not great performers. I'm just saying it's my cup of tea. And Moxley likes the hardcore stuff. I'm not a hardcore guy.
Yeah. Yeah, you like to make it make sense.
I love that picture.
But speaking of that match, who won? Because I kind of can't sit through an episode of AEW.
Moxley won.
Moxley won it.
Yep.
Moxley won it, and then the Jericho Appreciation Society attacked, and then the
CM Punk,
the Combat Club came out to help, and then CM Punk came out.
And then Moxley
Dave?
flipped him off.
I put it
Yeah.
this way. This time and era, it's a huge way to be a wrestling fan because we have so much to choose from and so much variety of wrestling that is outstanding.
Yeah.
You know, you don't like something, then choose the next one. You don't like that one, you got so much to choose from all over the globe.
Yes.
It used to be like that before.
Oh yeah.
This is what I like
Oh,
about
but
the
what
Ric
I was
Flair-
saying about being a fan. Thank you for bringing it back, Rich. He books because he's the fan. Everything he does what he's a fan of. He's a fan like all of us. What do you want to see? And that's why it was good. And that's just a simple. If you'll book, if you're a fan of it, you book it. I get that you can't TV time. 3 minutes isn't long enough to tell a story, and I get that. But I mean, that show without Ric Flair's match, you're right, it stood on its own.
Yeah.
Killer
Yeah,
Cross
tremendous
and Davey
undercard.
Boy Smith.
Oh,
And
God,
the Lucha match, stole the show.
I
That
gotta watch
Taurus,
the
I
whole
want to see
thing.
more Taurus because I had to go back and look at some of that because my wife loved it. She said when the main event started, she was disappointed because she wanted more wrestling. She wasn't sad. I mean, it wasn't like she's, oh man, now this. It was like, I want more of I want more. Give me more.
Yeah.
And
You brought up Davey Boy. Davey Boy was great too. I forgot all about that. Yeah.
Well, it gave you a little bit of everything. It gave you Japan. It gave you AEW. I mean, all these different organizations were represented, but you had a little bit of the old mixed in with the new.
Yes.
There you go.
So there's something
You
for
took
everybody in that event. So
Exactly.
I just don't want to see any gymnastics. I'm tired of that mess. That's
yeah.
I can't
The Young
stand
Bucks.
it.
The only thing missing from
Yeah,
that
Young
was a
Bucks.
bra and
I
panties
can't
match.
stand Young Bucks. Can't
Braun
stand
Panties, yeah.
Oh,
Tables,
those
ladders,
were the
and chairs.
days.
Yeah.
Those were the days.
I want to hear more about Tori.
She is so sweet.
Yeah,
I
she
had-
looks sweet.
She's such a nice person.
Easy on the eyes too.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
didn't hurt.
Just the experience of talking to these people, Dave, must mean, I think just having a conversation with one of these guys, especially the Horsemen, for like 5 minutes or 10 minutes, whatever you were with them. I mean, the picture's the bonus, but to actually speak to these guys for 5 or 10 minutes.
They're just like regular people. I mean, they are regular people. They just have high profile
Yeah.
jobs.
I probably
I thought-
had more interaction with Tully than any of them.
That's interesting.
Wow.
Is that just because of time and circumstance, or maybe because of what Tully or y'all have in common, or
No, he's just real approachable.
really?
He is.
Yeah.
Unlike the character he plays on TV. So
Oh yeah, he's completely different. I mean, there was a time, but man, the first time I was going to any kind of wrestling convention, I was at the airport with Tully. and we talked a little bit, and I was just blown away because first I was blown away that's Tully Blanchard. And I love Tully Blanchard.
Sounds like he's a guy's definitely opposite of what he is on TV.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's in
I
prison.
got a question for all you guys.
Okay.
Have any one of you guys met Kevin Nash in person?
Nope.
No.
I have.
How is he?
Cool.
Because I'm going to get to meet him on the 27th down here in West Palm Beach.
I was at a wrestler reunion in 2005. He walked over and he was talking to Reggie Parks, and he picked up the Winged Eagle, and he called it. He goes, "We used to call this belt the Dime, and we hated it. We hated to have to hit people with it because you had to hold your hand just right because of the bars. The bent bar would cut them if you weren't careful. You'd cut them real bad." And hearing him sit there telling Reggie that we called it the Dime. And why they didn't like to hit with it was really a cool story.
I'll bring my big eagle with
I've
me
ever
then.
met was Reggie. Yeah, he's one of the nicest people I've ever met.
Reggie was a gentleman. He really was.
And to hear, Reggie, when he talks about the belts, he's like, I just made that cut because I made it. Nobody ever told me. We get into all the cuts and whatever, and he couldn't remember what he made last time or what he did tooling this time. That all those cuts came out just because he wanted to. It was
whatever mood he was in that day.
Yeah, just incredible to know.
Milliken, on the other hand, studied it. I mean, he was a belt mark. He was studying the leather and the tooling and everything. I mean, he wanted it to be, but Reggie could just, I mean, it just depend on what kind of mood you get. Sometimes he'd overachieve on the leather.
Yeah.
I mean, think about the UWF television title.
Yeah,
I love that belt. One of my favorite.
It's wasted on a secondary belt.
exactly.
Yeah.
It should have been the world title.
It's one
I
of
mean-
the best looking belts there is.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, just
I
incredible.
never
But
understood that.
I feel that way about the NWA United States, the Luger. That's just to me, it's just one of the best belts out there. Is the way it looks. And
I used to feel that way, but I fell in love with that 5-plate WCW that Rick Rude had.
Yeah, that's gorgeous.
oh yeah,
Good looking belt.
Somebody's got those plates for sale. So I posted today for $150, I think.
Which one was the belt that he got buried with?
Rick Rude.
The
silver
NWA World
Rick
Tag
Rude got
Team.
buried- the silver
Yeah.
anniversary tag.
Yeah.
That's
Oh
what
wow,
Rick's-
I didn't know he got buried
Oh,
with
okay.
one.
Yep.
Actually, when he left the NWA, when he left Crockett, he took the belt with him,
Yeah.
and they had the commission. That's when they brought in the blue strap that the Road Warriors and Tully and R and the Midnights, Stan Lane, all held.
Oh.
And Rock and
No,
Roll.
the UWF TV was a Reggie design.
Love that belt.
So, Dave, have you thought about where? I know you've already had memorabilia from that and stuff that you've talked about. Where is this stuff going to go in your your scopes of your rooms? And because I keep up with your pictures and watching them when I can. So
You're going to have to add on.
What have you thought about? What kind of thing you're going to put together as far as pictures with you and the shadow box of what kind of thing you're going to put together?
Okay, it's going to be a frame. It's going to be I'm going to frame it. I'm going to have it framed and matted. Conrad told me to bring the shirt, and he'd get we'd get with Rick, and
I want to ask about that shirt.
so I could get it signed. I don't really care if I get it signed, honestly. I mean, the shirt's going to go in. It's going to get framed. I'm going to. There's a vintage looking poster they had at Starcast of the card. I've got the artwork. I'm going to print it out like 5x7. I'm going to print out the picture that you showed where I'm counting to 3. You
Right.
see Flair's shoulders down, but I'm counting to 3.
Yeah.
I'm gonna print that picture. So I'm gonna have a couple 5x7s in there. I may have the one with me and the Von Erichs and the Briscoes in the ring. I'm gonna have him do something with the confetti throughout. Maybe in a smaller version of the Ric Flair's last match logo. I've got an idea, but
I think that picture signed by Rick would be something that would be great.
Yeah. I want to ask about the referee
Well,
shirt.
for
What
me,
is the logo? That
Well,
logo
for
on
me,
the
whenever
shirt?
I meet you, I'm
Jim
getting
Crockett
that signed.
Promotions.
I already have that
Okay, 'cause
picture
it looks
printed
like-
off, and I'm getting you and Rick to sign that.
Because it looked like a DCP instead of JCP. That's what threw me off.
Yeah, I can get it. I got it right here. I'll get it and show it to you.
All three of the letters are made to look alike. The J,
Yeah.
the D, and the P.
Yeah, the
Yes,
J
I-
looks like a D to me, but
Yeah.
What's up, everybody in the
Iconic
chat
logo.
room? We're sitting here interviewing the man, the myth, the legend.
yeah, I see DCP is what I see. But yeah,
Did
I see the
did
J.
any
Yeah, the
blood
J looks
get
like a
on
D.
it from
J,
getting near Rick?
yeah.
Did any blood get on it or anything?
No,
No blood.
I should have hugged him.
Boy, I would have took his face and put it right in.
Moving it over to him and say, "Hey, Rick, how
Yeah.
you doing?"
I will say this: it's really hard to stain one of those referee shirts. I'm just putting it out there because I have guys that I've worked with who's purposely come up and wipe themselves, and it doesn't, for some reason, it doesn't stain. So it's hard to stain one of
Yeah,
those.
that's pretty awesome, man.
But I'm gonna.
Yeah. Johnny sent me this poster you're talking about, the vintage.
How does
poster.
that rate in your collection?
Is that the one you're talking about?
That's it. That's what I'm gonna print it out 5x7 to do.
Cool.
How does this rate in my collection? It's the number 2 album.
I want to say one more thing about the Ric Flair match. Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal did a wonderful job selling everything Rick had to throw at him.
They sure did.
Oh,
We sure
yeah.
did.
If it was a strong chop or a weak chop, and they got progressively weaker through the match, they sold every one of them like it was his 35-year-old version.
Jeff looked like he could wrestle.
Andrade did a good job too.
Yes, he did.
I'm gonna mark out for one moment the hug that Jay Lethal and Ric Flair shared on the ramp. That was pretty cool.
Yes.
When he dropped the and you heard the crump.
Oh yeah, we dropped the crumb around. Yeah.
Belt. Yeah.
Yeah, but to see him go over to Rick and give him a hug and he whispered in his ear, I don't know what it was. It meant both of them. It meant so much to both of them, especially Jay Lethal.
Well, Jay Lethal had a big part in training Flair for this match.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Let me tell you. I'm gonna give you. This is so cool. I get there and I'm in the arena and Rick wants everybody to come over and they're talking because Rick's wanting to go over it. And I come over there and he looks at me and he goes, "Can we curse on her?"
Yeah,
I'll allow it this time. I'll allow it this time.
So Rick looks at me and goes, "Who the fuck is this guy?" And I'm like,
we got this call.
Conrad goes, "It's a second ref." He goes, "What do we need a second ref for?" He goes, "After we bump Kyoto." We're bumping Kyoto? And I think he was screwing with me because this has all been up until that point. I mean, anything on a sheet said second ref. So,
yeah.
But he goes, "Come on, we're all going to my room." So we go to his dressing room and we're in there. Well, Charlotte and Andrade show up and I go get them and bring them in. So it's Rick, Jeff, Jay, Andrade, Charlotte, Kyoto, myself, and I think at that point, we got Megan in there, and Karen Jarrett was in there, and Rick looks at Charlotte and says, he goes, "Ash, can you step outside so the men can talk?" And she turned around to head out, and then she caught herself and turned around, and I mean, everybody busted out. And
oh wow!
Oh, I thought it was so great. And then the only other thing that got me was when Karen was talking to Megan, said, because Megan don't even like wrestling, and she's never done anything, so she said, "Just lay it in." And Megan, she said, "That won't be a problem."
Well, I was telling people in the chat as this was going on, I said, Charlotte's going to run in on this match. She's going to get involved with Jarrett's wife. I had the right idea, but the wrong daughter.
Yeah, I didn't expect her to do that.
Guys,
Yeah,
I don't know if she was not allowed, because there were WWE wrestlers in the back that could not be on camera.
Yeah, she couldn't be on camera. That's what was the deal. She could be there, but she wasn't allowed to be on camera.
I thought with Karen at ringside, I thought that she was going to do a run-in. I honestly did.
I did too.
That would have been cool.
I did too.
But I knew after with the deal with Megan that it wasn't, and I liked the deal with Megan. I really do. I liked.
Oh yeah,
she did a good job.
But everything that I saw, y'all are going to think I'm crazy. But after that weekend, Jeff Jarrett may possibly move on to my Mount Rushmore.
Oh, wow.
Really? And it's not for everything that y'all saw on screen. It's for everything that I saw off screen. That man is a wrestling genius. I saw him lay it out. I saw him control egos. I saw him with a vision, and I saw him sell that vision to a room full of people. I saw how I've never seen matches laid out that way. I saw a passion for what he does. And then I saw the performer that turned that on. I mean, heat. That's old school heat. Throwing beers at people, hitting fans, knocked the crap out of Wendy, went after Megan. I mean, it was something.
Turn it on and turn it off just like that.
And I loved how him and Jay Lethal kind of stalled for time while Flair was catching his breath. They were acting like they were afraid of him, and I mean, it's just
Rick said that he told him I don't feel. He said he told Jay I don't feel good, and Jay freaked out. So, but he just did. It was just the dehydration. But All this had been
I will
discussed
say-
already is why I'm talking about it. I'm not giving away anything that hasn't already been discussed elsewhere.
Yeah. I will say this: at the beginning of that match, Flair looked like he enjoyed being in the ring. I mean, they were doing Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett were doing their, oh, he's intimidating his antics. He just smiled the whole time, like I'm liking this. Yeah.
Oh, the fake heart attack.
Oh, that was great.
Well,
Yeah.
and the thing was he'd even said it. He goes, if I'm feeling it, I want to do this, and nobody wanted him to do that. He said, no, listen. Well, Lethal and Jarrett were in because they said, oh yeah, we're stupid hills, we'll fall for it, and because he wanted to do that, get him in, go for the eyes, dirtiest player in the game, and I was glad to see that was in there. They thought it was going to be in the ring, but it ended up being outside the ring. But still, it was classic Ric Flair. It was money. I loved it.
He got a couple of good moves in. I mean, the headlock with a hip toss. I mean, that was pretty good. And he did the head scissors on Jay Lethal when Jay Lethal threw him over. I thought that was impressive.
Your doorbell needs to be that or your ringtone or your doorbell at your house. I'd put him calling me. Here comes Super Dave. That would be, I would never let that not be.
It's Earl Hebner.
Oh.
I'm gonna edit that video. I'm gonna put the Superman theme in the background.
Oh, it was that's almost as cool as making the count.
I know you have the earpiece. I understand the earpiece and what it's about, but what was anything said into your earpiece after you ran out of any?
I was asked if he was okay. Does he want to? They were asking me, does he want to do a promo? Does he want to do a promo? And he wouldn't answer me.
Okay.
And then they said Tony Schiavone come down there, so he goes, "Well, we're going to get one because Tony's down there."
He came around enough to do that interview at the last. I mean,
yeah.
And to me, when the stories came out, he was intoxicated. I thought, no, not hearing those words the way. He spoke very coherently, and so.
Rick,
my favorite line of the night is, "I'm going to go party with Kid Rock."
Yeah.
Woo!
Somebody just said Super Dave screwed Brett. If Brett would have been there, I would have. I mean, I wouldn't give you. Now, here's the deal, y'all. When I entered the ring, Rick was on his feet applying the hold. He dropped down. Jarrett's shoulders came up, went back down. I'm a good referee. I'm watching shoulders, okay? I'm looking at Jarrett's shoulders. 1, 2, 3. Why would I look at Rick's shoulders? He was on his feet putting the move on. Nobody did anything to Rick.
Yeah.
And if so, and if anybody don't like it, the referee's decision's final. So there.
Hey, all in all, it was a good match.
I was going to add that addendum to your statement if you hadn't said it.
Thank you. I mean,
in all honesty, I was just making fun of it because
I know.
I saw an opportunity with Brett there, and I was like, well, no, Brett wouldn't be involved because he'd complain about it for 20 years afterwards if he was. So.
I know me, Mark, and the guys were excited for you. Really, really excited for you, man.
Thank you. I've got to tell you, I've thoroughly enjoying my 15 minutes.
Okay, there you are looking at Flair right there.
Take it in all you can, man.
And because referees don't normally get roses.
Yeah, but in the background before, meeting you face to face here, I've always been a fan of watching. I mean, the stuff you put on Twitter and the pictures and stuff. And if nobody follows, Pond Water here, you got to get on and follow him. He's great to follow, and the stuff that
You notice how quick after he said Super Dave, I went and changed all my socials back to Super Dave.
Well, there is a Super Dave Osborne. That's every time I hear that, so who I think about. But
well, the reason I changed to Palm Water was we were doing the Sad News Bears podcast on Ad Free, and Tony had called. Conrad told Tony that I said I wasn't going to get COVID because I drink palm water and eat hot Cheetos. So I leaned into it because my thinking is if we can get any if we're going to have merch, I couldn't have Super Dave merch because of the trademark, but I could do palm water. So I leaned into it. Plus, I've learned with Conrad that if you lean into something, it don't hurt as bad as if you resist it.
Yeah.
I agree.
You can pop in and say hi to everybody. My wife's standing right there.
Oh, she's now famous.
Yeah, we
too.
want to
Yeah,
hear
she's
how
famous
it
too.
felt to be interviewed on her part.
Hey, I'll tell you, I was excited to see my granddaughter in that video.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was
Yeah.
sweet.
You can hear him in the background too.
I started to put her on my lap through the interview, but
Why not?
I didn't know how the reporter would take it.
Well, I hope that this experience opens a lot bigger doors for you, whether it's AEW,
Same here,
WWE.
man.
I'd love to see it in the NWA.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I would.
It had to be one-offs because at this, I'm 56 years old. I've got a good job with a pension. I can't up and go.
Right.
I mean, I'd love to chase the dream, but realistically, I don't know. I mean,
Yeah, to me, you've achieved the pinnacle. You are forever. To me, if I'm going shopping, I'm stopping everybody. You know who I am? I'd be asking for discounts. I'd be asking for I'm the guy that
He's signing up to check out the cashier.
You need a
Super
T-shirt.
name.
You need a T-shirt with a logo kind of like this, but with you with your hand up, slapping the mat, and just say 1, 2, 3.
yeah.
When you need,
I'm just worried about having heat with the guys when I go to a regular locker room. When I get back to my locker room back on the 20th of August and 27th of August, I don't want to get heat.
Yeah,
because
you're not going to catch any heat. You'll be hailed as a
just
hero.
in my hand. And you want a picture
There
with
you
this
go.
hand? Here you go. This is the hand that slammed the 3. You want a picture with it?
The boys
That's
are
what
going to
I do.
hail you as a hero, man. They're going to they're going to know that you touched greatness, and they're going to want to rub off onto them.
You're etched in history from this day forward.
Exactly.
I'm answering to a trivia question,
you
and if
can
Rick
go
tries
back-
to wrestle another match, I'm taking his knees.
You can go
Unless I get to referee that match too.
real quick.
Either
can
that
now
or you're
go
going to
back
take
to
his
Ric
belt.
Flair. Ric
Either
Flair
way.
Ric Flair can never say who the fuck is that guy anymore.
No,
because everybody knows who you are now.
Yep.
Oh, that's great.
But guys, I wanted to say that the last week had people reaching out to me, people that from Texas where I started. I haven't had anybody be ugly to me. I mean, I made mistakes. I mean, it's like I said in that article. I didn't think I did my best work. The earpiece was different. It distracted me a few times in the Von Erich Briscoe match. I watched that match back, and I'm really not ashamed of it, how it looked. But at the time, I felt like I really didn't do my best work. That's why I said that I got called up to the majors, batted 118, and hit a home run. I mean, you can hear David Crockett say, "Don't stop," because when I came out of the tunnel, I stopped and started. It wasn't. So I mean, there was screw ups, and I mean, I wasn't.
That's what to me. When you watch shows, they're always on the referee, and you should be. I don't want one of these. I'm sorry. The chick in AEW who's the middle of the match every time. I can't stand.
Yeah,
that's just my opinion. I don't like somebody that's always in the picture and
she knows where the camera is. She likes it.
Overselling. I think you did
a
beautiful job on all your matches.
But she's a great referee, and her facials. I mean, she's selling what she's seeing. Aubrey's a good referee. Now, I will say that she knows where the camera is. And I had no idea where the camera was. I knew where the hard cam was. And it was messing with me trying to work that back part of the ring. And I overthought that too.
You did a stupendous job, man. Stupendous job.
I think you did a great job. I think you did a superb job. And we're always going to be our biggest critic when we see ourselves on tape or whatever. But there was nothing I was all in the match, and you did what you were supposed to do, because I never even noticed you until halfway through, and I was like, wait a minute, holy crap.
Yeah. Well, when I saw you in the Von Erich match, I was like, that's cool. I had no idea you were going to come in on the Flair match. Although at the beginning of the match, when I saw Kyoto come in, it was the big camera angle. I thought that was you. And I asked them, I said, is that Super Dave? They said, no, it's Dave or Mike Kyoto. I said, oh, okay.
Dave Hebner.
I screamed and jumped just like that. I was like, that's freaking super.
And hey, can I just say that I was thrilled to work with Kyoto?
Oh, I didn't doubt that. And you were living the dream that night.
And Kyoto's going to be doing the main event for the Wrestling Showcase. So I get to work with him again.
Cool.
Nice.
And this time I plan on picking his brain a lot.
There you go.
I would.
I
would
appreciate
too.
you being here with us, and sorry for my slurs and talking with my brain injury, but I appreciate it, and thanks for answering my questions and being here.
Anytime.
Yeah, we appreciate you coming on. I've been looking forward to this for 2 weeks now.
Me-
As soon
me
as
too.
that night was over, I knew I had to contact you, and I asked you if it was too soon for you to come on. You said, "Well, I'm still a little emotional, so I didn't want to push
Well, it
you."
worked out because, like I said, a week ago, I wouldn't have talked about near as much as I talked about tonight.
Yeah.
But since it all got put out there this week, then I knew that it was okay to talk about it.
I was
We
bragging to
appreciate
my
you.
cousin and my friends up north that we were having Dave on.
Well, I know you're probably making the rounds. I hope we're the first show you appeared on. I was hoping to get a coup.
Actually, I did a run-in on the Kick-Out crew
Ah, okay.
last week, late in
Well,
the week.
Well, we get ready to start the show. You hadn't come on yet, and I told the guys, I said, I'm a little concerned. He knows that we're coming on, and somebody said, well, maybe he's going to do a run-in like he did on the Flair match at the last minute. So
I did that. He's gonna wait for the last three, and he's gonna go
yeah,
boom.
yeah.
But no, I'm getting a lot of invites. I'm enjoying it.
I relish it, enjoy it.
Yeah.
And hey, I'm going to also do, and for especially old school fans, for the next 3 months, I'm going to be on weekly on Ringside Rant with RJ Krasinski and Justin Davis, and we're gonna do world class. We're gonna start from the first time I went, which is 40 years ago this month.
Wow.
And we're gonna start with that 2 out of 3 falls Star Wars, Kerry Von Erich and Ric Flair, and then we're gonna go on through Christmas. Then we're gonna do 83, and we're gonna do 84, and then we're gonna jump and do around Starrcade of 85 with Magnum and Tully. We're going to kind of leave world class and go into old NWA, but we're always normally doing modern day WWE when I'm on there. But now we're gonna dedicate 3 months to my fandom, and I'm excited because I was there and I can share those memories.
Were you there the night that the cage door got slammed?
The second time I ever went, yes.
Okay. Well, we talked about that on our show about, what, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, I think it was 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We covered the Freebird Von Erich feud and its origins. And I showed the match, David Von Erich subbing for Buddy Roberts in the Freebirds match. And then we showed the cage door slamming and just basically talking about how that feud came about. But you talked about the 2 out of 3 falls match with Ric Flair and Kerry Von Erich. Is that match on YouTube? Because I've been wanting to see that.
You could probably find it. It's
I have to look for it.
August of '82. It's on Peacock.
Is it? Okay.
It is on Peacock. And I'll tell you something else they added on Peacock. They added 1981 Star Wars.
Oh,
And one
I
of-
gotta watch it.
And that was before my fandom.
Oh, that's great.
we're having some 8x10s printed. It's the picture of me running down the ramp, and because I got permission, I asked I asked whose permission do I need to use this for a promo pic, and Conrad
Did you
told me
see
to
my-
F all the
Did
way
you-
off.
Did you see my meme today of your run down the
I
ramp?
did. I did. But
I had to do it. I couldn't help it. I had to do it.
But anyway, go back and because this was before my fandom, and I'd never seen the '81, and it's Kerry Von Erich versus Harley Race for the NWA title, and Kerry and
I
Fritz
gotta
Von
watch
Erich
that.
versus Kabuki, and then the Christmas Star Wars was a double ring affair, and there was a Texas Death Match with Fritz and Kabuki, and then a 6-man with the Von Erichs versus Wild Bill Irwin, Frank Dusek, and I don't know who it was. They said he was a Japanese guy with wearing a mask, but he was.
I
Oh,
gotta
it's
watch that, man.
the Magic Dragon.
No, it wasn't the Dragon.
Wasn't the Dragon?
No.
Huh.
But it was neat to see that, and I think that Ric Flair and I think that Kerry Von Erich matched up better with Harley Race than he did Ric Flair.
I saw his match against Harley Race the night that Fritz retired.
Yes, I've seen that
And
one
was
too.
that was a good match. I haven't seen one with him for the title, but
the one for the title, and the ropes were so loose. Oh man, the ropes were loose. That stood out. But it was neat to go back and see the stuff before I was a fan.
Yeah.
Wow.
I keep hearing about these matches. I have not seen any. I'd like to see those. So.
Well, sometimes I'll just go down the rabbit hole of world class
Yeah.
on Peacock. And it kind of
I do the
aggravates me
same thing
sometimes
on
about the music.
especially Fridays and Saturdays.
I wish we had the matches from Fort Worth.
Yeah.
But they taped over them.
Yeah. I had some of those on tape, but I think I taped over those too, and I can't find any of them.
Any of them that you find on YouTube or anywhere is just it's something that a fan had recorded.
I actually like the Fort Worth shows more than I did the Sportatorium shows.
Yes.
Because
it's a better
as much
TV
as I like
show.
the vignettes, they didn't show the vignettes. It was just action and drama.
It was a much better TV show than.
It felt like it was a live show.
Yeah.
It felt like a live show.
It was.
Does anybody in the chat room have a question for Dave?
While they're doing it, I want to show off the belt of the week, and I want to preface this by saying that my video editing software keeps crashing, so I was not able to put together a video this week. I got to fix that. So I'm going to show this belt off. This is not mine. This is a leather job I just finished, and I'm holding it till we're going to make a trade. There you go. And if Tracy Beeman happens to be watching this, these are the plates that you sold.
I want that
WCW
belt.
Yeah,
I
I
want
need
one
that
of those
belt.
in my collection.
Came with a.
Are those
logo
the
plate.
shop plates?
No, I don't know who the maker is, but no, they're not
Okay.
shop plates.
It looks good.
It does. Looks
And
real
your
nice.
leather looks really good too, Mark.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Anyway, I've got a video of this. I just haven't been able to edit it because my software keeps crapping out. Also, I have for sale. This is something new I started. The inserts for the network logo belts. This is genuine leather, autographed by me. But genuine leather. This is the only one I have finished. It's black. I have sold one. I need to sell that one. That one's going to be $45 shipped. I have the blanks for 3 more. And they can be tooled any style you want. Well, 2 styles. And whatever color you want. So, custom made to order.
Nice.
$45 shipped. Now, what were we doing while I was doing that?
I was asking if anybody in the chat room had any questions for Dave.
Oh, that's right. I think he means a 6-man. He bought the plates for the 6-man title from me. They were scratched up, and I got a brand new set. So, ha.
Miracle Water.
That's an inside joke. That's an inside joke. You got Pond Water. I got Miracle Water.
But
yeah, Kevin's dropping because of
I didn't.
bad storm. Oops, bring it back.
Do
on.
promo pics or something that I didn't. It's taken me a while. That I've had so much. Every time we go to Bayou Independent Wrestling, there's always somebody asking me if I have 8x10s. And
Sure, why not? You're in the ring. You might as well.
so, I mean, I'm like, it doesn't seem like anybody would want one, but apparently there's a demand for them. So I'm gonna get some together.
Yeah,
I
you have to
want
watch
the
replay
3-count
quite-
photo.
You may not have needed them before now.
Yeah, you're
but-
going to need them now.
After now, you definitely need them. You know, especially after last week.
I'd be lying if I said I hadn't practiced my autograph this week.
Isn't that
And that's what I like about that one coming down the ramp, because there's room for me to sign it over there, and I'll put that RFLM on it.
Let me see if I can upload that picture.
Isn't that the weirdest thing? Is like when somebody comes up and asks you for an autograph, like because it doesn't. Not that it happens to me all the time.
Oh,
but it does.
Autograph or a picture, and it never blows my mind.
You need
Like,
you
why
need
do
this
you want a
picture.
with me?
Here's a picture you need right here.
That's going to be in the
Yeah.
shadow box.
Okay.
But I
Look
don't.
at that arm. Look at that arm. Perfect angle.
Hey, that
Hands
every
open.
slap was strong. I mean, every slap of that man was strong.
Right by the ear so the wrestler can
Oh,
hear
you
it.
felt it. Every slap to the mat. You felt that.
I yell
I'm
too.
gonna send a picture of the. Whoops. Send a picture of you running down the ramp. I got that somewhere.
See the one down the
Are
ramp.
you going to be at the event in Greensboro? I forget the name every
WrestleCade?
Yeah, WrestleCade.
I will not be at WrestleCade.
Right.
Are you going to be at the gathering next year? Do you plan to go?
If I do, it's going to be a last minute decision.
I'm wanting to go.
I mean, I wanted to go this year, but then Starcast came up.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
So, I mean, that's always going to be anything. If there's another if there's Starcast, those are priority.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Any events you know that you're going to be of besides the Chicago? Anything else you got coming up? And
I've got
there you go.
There you go.
And you didn't trip.
I did not. And I did not want to be remembered for that.
Well, I was going to go to the gathering, but
at least he slid into the ring and not under the ring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
He's lucky
dive.
he didn't get hurt. He's lucky he didn't get hurt.
Yeah.
Because I mean,
well, yeah, I've seen what's underneath the ring. There's a lot of steel under there.
Yeah,
he could. The question about where he's going to be at. Where were you?
We're going to be on August the 20th. I'm going to be in Richland, Mississippi, at the high school for Battle Zone. On the 27th, I'm going to be in Brookhaven, Mississippi, for Bayou Independent Wrestling. The following weekend, I'll be in Chicago for the Wrestling Showcase. Then in October, I'll be back with Legacy Wrestling in Philadelphia, Mississippi. I'm going to be with we'll have another show for Bayou Independent in West Monroe, and then we got Fountain Hill, Arkansas coming up. I'm booked with Bayou all the way to the end of 2023 now. But Bayou Independent Wrestling is coming to Vicksburg, Mississippi, February 4th. And it's going to be at the City Auditorium. And anybody in this area, when they were kids, that's where they went for wrestling back in the day with Bill Watts. It was before he was Kamala. He was still Sugar Bear Harris. And I've seen posters where he was Ugly Bear Harris. Klondike Bill was on those cards. I mean, Mid-South came through. It was the City Auditorium is a historic building. And I'm very, very excited to be able to do my thing, especially after doing the Municipal Auditorium. Y'all know how much history was in that building?
I can only imagine.
I mean, Flair beat Savage for the title in that building. He beat Steamboat for the title in that building. Harley Race pile drive Hulk Hogan through the table in that building. They filmed the match Beyond, Zeus and Hogan in that building.
Wow.
The last Clash of Champions was in that building, and we outdrew it.
You're talking about all these events you're going to be at. Are you related to Freddie Miller from Georgia Championship Wrestling? You know who I'm talking about?
I know who you're talking about. No, I'm not.
Okay, well, I wanted to finish off that list of places by be there.
Be there.
Every promo match, he talked about who's going to be where. Saginaw, Michigan, Tommy Rich, Superstar. And at the end of the thing, he say, be there.
Be there. It's the NWA.
He was obviously from
Major League and professional wrestling.
Yeah.
Be there.
Hey, Dave, does Conrad ever get, or I would think, with all those belts that he brings and he shows off, does he ever worry about somebody dropping one of them? Or
he's completely chill about it.
Really? I'm so grateful that he does that. I get to see these pictures.
He told me I could take the big old home with me once.
Golly.
Wow.
I respectfully declined.
I was impressed with he had the silver U.S. belt there.
I'm doing the duty with my wife in it. I'm telling you that right now. I'm filming it. I am filming it. And I'm sending it to Jay-Z, and I'm showing everybody. Look what I did. Woo, that.
I can just imagine him in the bedroom. Woo!
Yeah.
I'm doing Ultimate Warriors music. I'm running into Ultimate Warriors music with it, butt ass naked with it. I'm going crazy with it. Conrad, if you ever watch this, not that he might, but send it to me. I'm in North Carolina. I will put my wiener on, and I'll be.
I think Kevin just went on the no-fly zone with the belt with the big gold.
Yeah.
But in all seriousness, with my health, I can't, travel. I've made several attempts to try to get it and be there and see it, and but when I do, I will probably cry my tail off. That and the NWA tags I'm a big rock and roll mark, and when I see and hold them, it'd be the same thing. So,
Kevin, what part of the country are you in?
what's that?
What part
Eastern
of the
North
country?
Carolina. Eastern North
Okay.
Carolina. I'm about an hour and a half from Jay-Z's Crazy Town.
Okay. Trying to think if there'd be an event that it could possibly show up at up there.
I'm hoping WrestleCade in Greensboro. Do you know if he's going to bring him there?
I don't know if I don't know if he's going to WrestleCade. It's so hard around Thanksgiving to get to WrestleCade.
Yeah. Well, if they ain't going to be there, I'm not, because I've been asking Rock and Roll too. You guys going to be? Because I ain't going to show up unless that belt's there or they're there. Because that's the main reason to try to get to see them one more time.
But I've got to hold some pretty cool belts. I mean, I got to hold the Pat Patterson Intercontinental belt.
Really?
Oh, wow. The red strap.
Yes.
Man.
Nice.
Just a trophy belt.
Yeah, but they're nice.
Does he have the NWA?
I know, but the history.
Yeah.
The NWA TV?
No.
Either one of them?
He couldn't get the TV. He tried to get the TV.
Really?
And that didn't work out.
You know which one he was trying to get? Was it the red or the black strapped or the?
Which one did Arn have?
The red strap.
Okay.
It was the red strap.
Yeah, he's got the Macho Man Savage brass though, doesn't he?
He does.
Yeah.
Wow.
I really like the silver US, the 10 pounds of silver he's got. I did not know until that picture was displayed. Somebody posted in the groups that where the flag was, the coin looking thing was actually a stacked piece.
Yes, it is.
So I have ordered a new US.
It's a cool belt.
Yeah, I've ordered a new one with that change. So
yeah, I know the guy that he got it from because I'd taken a picture with the big gold and that belt, but and I got really excited when he got the US because I grew up an NWA guy, so some people would get excited about the Intercontinental belts. Yeah. I get excited about the 10 pounds of silver.
Tully and Magnum, those battles throughout Greensboro, Raleigh, Elton, oh my God, they're such a great battle.
The only WWE belt that I've gone nuts for that he got was the WrestleMania 17 Big Eagle.
Oh wow!
So
Magnum and Wahoo had some good battles over that belt too.
Yeah, they
Don't
did.
Sleep on that. Don't sleep on that. Don't sleep on that.
Along. I mean, that's just great that he does that. And
I love Wahoo.
Fan, I'm appreciative that they're all there to be seen and held. So I promise I won't.
Well, he shares them. That's the thing is people get mad sometimes when he gets this stuff, but he gets it and the fans get to see it.
Yeah, why would
there's lots of belts that when the private collectors get them that you'll never see them again.
Yeah. Speaking of Wahoo, something cool happened.
I really do appreciate that part of it. Yeah.
Speaking of Wahoo, something cool happened last week, and it involves Rusty Miller. You guys know Rusty Miller. He's on the show before. He wanted to be on tonight, but he had to work.
I'm calling BS. Ain't nothing cool ever happened with Rusty Miller.
This actually was cool, and I'm trying to get the video uploaded.
Yeah, this is awesome.
I know.
He talked about this. He's got a replica of the 10 pounds of silver that I re-leathered for him. And neither of us knew until he tried to give it to a friend that it was misspelled. On the main plate, it said U.S. Heavyweight Champions with an S. So he told us on the show before, I think he told us on the show before, he was going to give that to Karen McDaniel, Wahoo's wife.
Yep.
So he did that at the gathering. And there's video. I'm going to try to get this video downloaded so I can show this off. But he had everybody in attendance, or a lot of people, sign that belt. I think, who was it signed it?
Everybody, didn't they?
Everybody was.
Well, I'm trying to think of the notable ones, but
yeah,
you had your buddy there with him to present it too.
Andrew Anderson, yeah.
Yep.
Russ is a very kind-hearted guy, and he's in 2001. He's the first one that I had talked to getting into the hobby and trying to get some belts, and he was the first one helping me. So he's been in the belt game a long time.
Rusty smartened me up to the hobby too. He was one of the first people that really kind of smartened me up to the business. Him,
easy to broke a deal with too. To be a middle guide if you're worried. I mean, he just knows everybody. It seems like
Russ is one of my best friends.
Really?
I talk to him every day.
I'm hoping to meet him next year at the gathering. Here's the video. This is Rusty Miller and Andrew Anderson giving Kerry McDaniel this belt that I really I just thought this was really cool.
He's a replica of the U.S. title. I understand. This is from your wrestling family. Still love you. I want you to be okay. Yes. Turn around. Okay. Look, and it's time for everybody. Everybody. All right, don't go. I wanted you to I knew that. I love you, honey. We love you.
You gotta hold it up. Hold it up so I can see.
Come on, give a glass up.
Nice.
That's
awesome.
Beautiful.
Ted
That's
DiBiase
beautiful.
signed that belt. That's who I was trying to think of. Ted DiBiase signed that belt.
Yeah, I don't think Wahoo gets enough credit as one of the greats of all time for as much as I think every card I went on as a young kid, he must have been traveling all the because he was on every one of them that I can remember. He was always at those matches.
Did you guys see the way she looked at that belt?
She had tears in her eyes.
Yeah.
When I was a little kid, my first experience with pro wrestling was not on TV. It was actually going to a show. And I've told these guys this story. Long story short, kid, babyface, runs over to the babyface side because they didn't come down the same entrance. Babyface came out on one side, heels came out on the other.
Yep.
I got a high five from Wahoo, or not, from Jimmy Valiant. Wahoo McDaniel was on that show, on that same show. And I remember when I was a kid, when I started watching it on TV after going to that show, I remember thinking Wahoo was probably the toughest guy on the planet. Like, there was nobody legitimately tougher, because it seemed like every week he was getting beat up and bleeding, but he was still kicking ass. You know what I mean? Wahoo was awesome. When you talk about Wahoo, it just brings back a lot of childhood memories that were awesome for me. So.
A couple of other notable names that signed that belt were Ken Patera and Ronnie Garvin.
Wow.
Oh, Ronnie.
See, I knew Wahoo when I was a little boy. I saw him when I was a little boy.
You knew him?
Wow.
Well, he'd come to the house. Now,
oh wow.
Let me see if I can explain this without it being too weird. My dad's
good luck.
My dad's first wife remarried, but I would go to their house to spend the weekend with my half sisters, and I didn't know that his ex-wife was not my stepmother, because I mean they'd come and get me, and I'd go spend the weekend with my sisters over there. And her husband was on nightclubs, and he played golf with Wahoo, Lee Trevino, and Charlie Pride. Because, and I saw Karen a few years ago, and she had a picture of Wahoo, Lee Trevino, and Charlie Pride. And I looked at that picture, and I said, "I bet I know who took that picture." And I told her, and I was right. His name was Rudy, and Rudy would take me to the golf course. And I didn't know who Charlie Pride and Lee Trevino was, but I know who Wahoo was.
You didn't know who Charlie Pride was?
I didn't at the time. I was a little kid.
Or Lee Trevino? Oh, those were household names when I was younger.
Dude,
yeah, but I was 6.
I was 6 too. Well, my dad played Charlie Pride all the time on the record player,
So I mean, that was just kind of neat that out of that foursome, Wahoo's the one that stood out to me.
Platinum's like Dave's just hitting name dropping.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be name dropping too.
It's the thing. Yeah, he came over to the house. Everyone's, dude. I'm if you open up a bed and breakfast, I'm in line to spend the night in that room and hear you talk some stories.
Yeah,
son.
yeah.
Right.
If you ever come through Mississippi, holler at me.
I'm gonna name drop too. I'm gonna say I know Dave Miller. I'm gonna get me a T-shirt that says "I had Dave Miller in my podcast," and all I got was this lousy T-shirt.
I mean, I go around to my friends when Ricky Morton in a group chat that we're in, he replies to me every now and then. I'm going around walking like with my dick hanging out, like, yeah, Ricky Morton just talked to me, and he's like, yeah, Wahoo McDaniels comes over my house, bitch.
Yeah.
Hey, if you're ever around Ricky Morton again, ask him to show you the double wrist lock.
I'm writing this down right now.
It doesn't hurt. You'll laugh, but ask him to show you the double wrist lock.
I'll actually be seeing Ricky here probably in the next week or so.
You know, that's who I thought in my gut was going to end up being the Ric Flair's last match, and I would have liked it, even though I love how with Jeff Jarrett. But
there was so much diversion.
I was really hoping it was going to be Ricky, and But I understand, but if people don't understand the great match, or some people do.
I love the whole
great
match.
between him.
Well, I never thought it was going to be Steamboat because I knew Steamboat can't wrestle anymore.
Yeah.
But the matches between Ricky and Ric Flair were off the charts. I mean, good.
It actually amazes me that Rick can get in the ring, but Ricky can't. It's just floors me.
Ricky can, but he takes that one. He could paralyze him.
Yeah,
he had
his neck's got issues. We asked him whenever he came in last time and did a seminar for our school.
What's up, Andrea?
He was asked why don't you do matches anymore? And I think the last one he did was the one at WrestleMania with Jericho, which I don't even remember what WrestleMania that was. But yeah, he said that he can't take the chance, and I knew whenever that rumor was going around that rumor was going to get squashed because I had just
I don't blame him at all.
I don't blame him either.
Hey, my wife asked again just because of my memory and stuff. She said double wrist lock. Was that right?
Yes, double wrist lock.
Double wrist. She's writing it down because I am going.
You'll get a kick out of it.
Yeah, those guys growing up in and out of the hospital, those what got me through a lot of nights.
Is this double wrist lock a Robert Gibson reference?
No.
Okay, good, because like I've heard the stories about Robert Gibson and I've witnessed, unfortunately.
No, just ask him to show it to you. Hey, Brian, Brian, are you going to be in Chicago again?
His coffee, Ricky Morton's new coffee, Rock and Roll Express coffee. God, it's great. Really good.
I don't drink coffee.
Well,
I drink iced coffee.
I drink iced coffee. Y'all should try it. It's really good. It's really good.
We got
I'm powered by sweet tea and Monster Energy.
Yeah, now sweet tea.
There you go.
Right here.
Yeah, North Carolina. Yeah, sweet tea, and I can't do without my sweet tea now.
I got my fresh brewed right here. Dave, I got to tell you, I was just thrilled to death for you when I saw you on that show. And when you came
Vinny
out,
Vegas in the room.
Vinny Vegas.
What's
Great show, Vinny. Yeah, we went up against him again tonight. So
thank you, Vinny.
Pounding the meat.
Brian mentioned that I might fall asleep. Last year at Chicago, I passed out in Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy came and sat down next to me and took a picture while I'm passed out. I printed that 8x10 out and took it and got him to autograph it at Star.
Did he give a thumbs up?
That's awesome.
Have you been on the show with PTM, Vinny Vegas, and those guys?
I have not.
I'm sure they'd love to have you.
They probably hit you up. That's it. He's a good guy to talk to. You'd have fun over there. I'm pretty sure
they're a good show.
Yeah,
they did a great show. They had Virgil on not very long ago, but we trumped him tonight. We got Super Dave.
Well, I know it's about 2 hours, but I just want to thank you again, Dave. I really appreciate it. This was something I was looking forward to, and made sure I took all my meds to be here and talk. But I appreciate it.
I'm glad you came. I had a great time, and I was excited that y'all invited me back because I had a good time last time I was here.
I've been looking forward to this for a week now, so we can have.
Man. It's an honor, man. It's really
and I'd like to have you back after the Chicago show if you'd like to come on.
Sure. Anytime.
We live vicariously through you.
And I mean, my granddaughter's playing softball, but I mean, she plays early enough in the day that I'm home on Thursday nights.
Okay, we'll book it.
Oh, wow. We appreciate your wife, taking the time out to let you get off.
Awesome, thank you, Vinny.
I'm surprised she's not sitting next to me. She likes to jump in on these things.
My daughter actually stuck her head in here a while ago. She usually doesn't do that. She's camera shy, but this is her first day back after a week. She was gone, so. But no, I'm just happy for you to be on the show tonight. I'm thrilled. I appreciate your time. You've been generous with your time, and all these revelations coming out. Of course, some of this has been talked about, but to get it from somebody who's actually there is really a treat. So
there's what we could speculate on, and then there's the truth, and I'm glad we could finally get the truth.
Yeah,
that's the one thing that I wanted to be passionate about with it was that Rick was not impaired in any way, shape, form, or fashion. Now, there was concern with the way, I mean, his daughter did not want him to spend that much time laying down. I mean, she did not want him to sell being 73 years old the way he sold it.
Yeah.
So
Well, if he went out the way he wanted to go out, then I'm happy for him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But he had too much respect for Jay and Jeff to just steamroll them.
Yeah.
Everything was
make
done
it
his
like
way.
a mediocre match. He made it worth something, you know.
Yeah.
Well, now you need to get you need to get a T-shirt made that has Ric Flair on it and his quote saying, "Who the F is that guy?" And then on the back, on the back. Now wait a minute. On the back, it's Tony Schiavone saying, "It's Super Dave," and just
with a picture of you running down the ramp.
Man, that's actually not a bad idea, man.
The ramp. I may screen print the ramp.
Really good idea.
I'll take one.
I may screen print the ramp picture and spell Super Dave SOOOOP like sound it
Tony
out.
said it.
Then it's nothing like Super Dave Osborne.
Oh man, that's awesome, man.
On the back of that shirt, you should have put on back, not Earl Hebner.
Wrestling Inc. reported that it was Earl Hebner that came down and made the 3 count.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Because I had a friend send it to me, and I said, "Well, tell him that it's not." Then he sent me a screen grab of his email that he really reached out to him and told him.
Oh man. Well, you're forever in Jordan the Lyons lore as being Earl Hebner. So
I've been called worse.
Well, I mean, it's a good company to be associated with.
Yeah, I mean,
and now I
he's
can
done a
back
little
to
something.
my relatives and stuff that I rub elbows with Dave Miller.
Well, I think they called you Earl Hebner because of the screw job on Jarrett.
Now that we're almost to the end, I got a couple questions for you. Just personal note, referee to referee. Who was the referee that got you? You know, the one referee that you looked at as your influence, the guy that you basically model yourself after. As far as
I wanted to be David Manning.
That's awesome.
I've always wanted to be David Manning.
I'm a Tommy Young guy.
Dave was a good referee.
Oh yeah.
Tommy
well,
Young
he also
managed
got in people's faces.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He actually
Tommy
wrestled
Young.
with he wrestled Buddy Roberts. Actually got in the ring wrestle with Buddy Roberts.
He wrestled Frank Dusek also.
I didn't know that.
Wow. I didn't know that. No.
Hey, also, and I asked David this, and because I thought I watched a match with Frank Dusek, went to a time limit draw, and it was a referee's decision that awarded the match to the other guy. I can't remember who he wrestled.
Oh,
and I'd asked him. He did a Q&A on ad free shows, and I asked him about that, and I said, "Did you do that? Did you do the ref's decision, and you went against Dusek to help lead in because Dusek was in his face a lot, and they eventually had a match. He did that with him before he did Buddy Roberts, and he said no, just occasionally we'd have the matches where the referee would pick a winner.
Wow.
And I thought it was because he was building up to his angle with Dusek.
Now, wasn't that best 2 out of 3 falls with Kerry and Ric Flair? Wasn't that like it wasn't just a pinfall, but it was a judgment thing? They had judges on ringside?
No, they had a special referee.
Oh, is that what it was? Okay.
They brought a special referee in. It was they brought him in. I can't remember his name. They brought him in from Mid-South.
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about. And no, it wasn't that. It was
Fritz ended up hitting him.
That's what it was. Yeah. Kerry hit him.
No, Fritz hit him.
Oh, Fritz hit him. Okay, that got Kerry disqualified, didn't it? That's what cost him. That's why it's controversial.
Yeah,
that's what I thought. Okay, because they both had a match apiece, and then third fall, something happened that got Kerry disqualified. That's why I called him then crowned world champion.
Yeah, and then the undercard was pretty good too. It had Harley Race, King Kong Bundy, David and Kevin versus Kabuki and the Dragon. Ted DiBiase was on there.
I didn't know that.
Ted DiBiase was on the undercard.
Is that the only time he was ever in world class? I've never seen him on there before.
He might have came through. He might have been on the International Star Wars card in '83. I'd have to go back and look at it because I know Inoki was there and Baba.
Okay.
I can't remember if DiBiase was on the International card. International Star Wars. It was with Kevin and Harley Race was the main event.
Yeah.
I was so disappointed because Rick had dropped the title to Harley, and we didn't find out till we got to the building. That Harley
you were looking forward to see Rick. Yeah.
Oh yeah. But back then, you didn't know until you knew.
Yeah. You didn't know for a
What I
month
liked
till the
about
wrestling
back
magazines
then.
came out.
Yeah.
You know, I was just thinking as you're telling some of these stories about the Ric Flair event that if the dirt sheets pick up the show, you may be quoted as saying Ric Flair was not drunk.
I will.
Yeah.
And it's funny too. When I found out, I wouldn't tell anybody. When I found out what I was going to do, I wouldn't tell anybody. I didn't even tell the other referees.
Oh wow.
I mean, it was almost to the main event it was almost to the main event, but I wasn't saying nothing to anybody because if I said something to somebody and that finish got out on the internet before it happened.
Yeah.
But you got to tell the security guard that's watching the curtain so he can let you run out. Like, where's he going? What is he doing?
Yeah.
Oh, and I'll tell you
you
one other.
You got to kayfabe that stuff.
And since I'm dropping names, I got to tell y'all, I come walking through the gorilla position, and there sits Michael Hayes.
Oh wow.
And there's Shane Helms, and then there's the Undertaker and Michelle McCool.
Wow.
So I'm down the line shaking hands, and I know Shane. I've known Shane for a few years now, but I've shake hands with everybody. I'm like, okay, just shook hands with the Undertaker. That's pretty cool. Just shook hands with Michael Hayes. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, Michael
and then,
Hayes.
Yeah.
And then Rey Mysterio and Dominic were there, but they were in the back.
Oh, okay.
So
Did Michael Hayes have one of his famous suits on?
He didn't have full suit, but that shirt was like gold silk shirt that he wears.
Yeah.
And the hat.
Did he have a hat?
Oh yeah, he had a hat. Oh yeah.
Did he have his fatty pack?
Man, he didn't stand. I didn't see him standing up.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he's always got that fanny pack.
Yep.
Oh, I'm sure he did.
Yeah.
That's the uniform.
Yes.
Never without that.
No,
Yeah.
honestly, he's not lying. That's the uniform for like everybody in the business. Everybody
Yeah.
carries a fanny pack.
Oh, is it?
That's not a
Okay.
joke.
You really need a leather. You really need a leather fanny pack.
Yeah, you do.
Or something that matches the suit.
Nothing matches that suit.
I was going to say, man.
Nothing.
Hey, you want me to tell a story about Jay-Z? I don't
Yeah,
know.
we
if I
got 2
tell
minutes.
it.
Go ahead and make it quick, but yeah.
Well, no, because it's also a
No,
story
take
about.
it all the time you want.
I can't
Yeah.
tell that story on there.
We'll go over time.
I can't tell that story on there. Never mind.
Oh,
Sure.
I'm positive I can't tell that story.
He already tried to photobomb one of your wife's photos. We already saw that on her.
He's
Well-
like that guy in the commercial. Oh,
You can tell
almost had it?
us off the air. You can tell us off the air.
I can't tell you off the air, but
Okay. Stick around after the credits because we usually chit chat for a little bit after the credits.
sorry, it's not that I can't tell the story about Jay-Z. I just can't. I don't. And it's probably okay to tell the story about the other guy, but I can't.
Oh,
Nah,
okay.
that's all right, man. We respect that.
Yeah, respect that. But we want to hear the story after the show. Oh, we got about a minute left, guys. So I'll go ahead and wind this down. I want to thank Super Dave again, Dave Miller. Super is not his real first name. For being with us tonight. It's always a pleasure. Enjoy having you on. Enjoy the stories. This to me was just a highlight. I've enjoyed every minute of it. I want to thank Andy, Richard, Kevin, and Jim for joining us tonight. And I want to thank everybody tonight for watching the show. We appreciate you tuning in every week, giving up your time. So I don't know what we'll have next week, but we'll have something for you. Hopefully I'll have a video of the week again, a belt of the week again. But until then, I hope you enjoy your week and enjoy your weekend. We'll see you next week, guys.
Take care, everybody.
Where'd it go? There it is.
Burn around the country, drinking palm water days.